right, thank you for staying with DayBreak. Let's discuss this young ticket, we are calling it. How do we move from party politics to politics of ideology? I still have my guests with me, Billion Ojiwa Madare, Member of Parliament aspirant with the UDA ticket, Yusuf Noah Kibra, Member of Parliament aspirant with the DAPK, and Jerry Maina, Woman Rep aspirant for Kirinyaga with UDA as well. We're still waiting for Felix Odiwuor Jalango, who's a Langata Member of Parliament aspirant under ODM. As soon as he comes in, we'll usher him in to this discussion. So how do we switch this, Njeri? You started talking about it in terms of civic education. How do we ensure then that there's a politics of ideology over politics of personality? How can that be switched? You've been there now, you know what the people are saying. Do you sometimes go to them and they tell you that we are only voting for you because you belong to UDA and not about your policies?
I haven't heard someone directly tell me they're voting for me. Merely because I'm running on the UDA ticket, but I believe that the party informs the character of a person. Rather, the character of a person informs the party that they choose. Yeah. And the reason I choose UDA party is because I subscribe to the ideologies that it chaperones. So at the end of the day, we can't say, Trevor, that you can't say now I want to distance myself from the party, because there's a reason that I joined UDA party. If I didn't want to join any party, perhaps I would have ran on an independent ticket, which is provided by the law. But beyond that, I believe it's also very important for the voter and the citizenry to recognize that it is important for them to vote in leaders, not merely because of the party, but because of the character of the person, what they offer to the electorate, and their track record. If they've been in positions of power, what have they done? The people should be able to ask the hard questions, because at the end of the day, we want the best of leadership for our people and for the people of Kirinyaga County. Most of the times, are they really able to do that? There's like a fight between that, because you find that if a party is popular, then a lot of people will get swayed by that. And it is not something that we can do away with, because we've seen that even in developed democracies like the United States of America. You know, people vote according to whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. So we can't do away with the party. Yeah. But we need to question this person. Who are they? What informs them? What ideologies do they subscribe to? What are they offering for our people? I do not want the people of Kirinyaga to vote for me merely because I'm running on a UDA ticket. I want them to vote for me because they believe that the agenda that I am offering to them, and they believe that I am actually going to Parliament and ensure that I meet my roles and I work for them and I better their lives. Yeah.
Billion, how do you push people to now start thinking in terms of voting for ideologies as young people rather than personalities or even selfish gain? Because you are a classic example. You started with the party where strong leader is there, moved to another one that a strong leader is still there. How do you then push for young people to base their decisions on ideology and not personality or even selfish gain?
First of all, I want to acknowledge the importance of a political party, especially the big political parties. They play a big role in our areas, especially areas like Nairobi. But we are trying to move away from the party politics, because I think what we've learned during the COVID-19, it's about the people that you elect. It's not about the political parties. When people were suffering, when the leaders were withdrawing, we were not questioning the political parties. And the people that we can hold accountable are not the political parties, are the individuals that we elect. So we've been pushing for people to elect the MCAs, the MPs, because these are people that are very close to them, the people that they can reach and hold accountable. So the narrative is changing in regards to what people are going through right now, and knowing that, you know, we have another 5 years to make it right or count our losses. Yeah. So that is changing, but still we are kind of grilled into the party politics. But I can assure you for free that this election is different. Yeah. It's so unique. We're going to see a lot of people from even smaller political parties. We're going to see a lot of independent people from independent coming in as independent. and even the bigwigs losing in areas that are seen as strongholds for their political parties.
Yeah.
So, and that will help us now move towards the ideologies. Where I come from in Ugenya, which should be an ODM zone, we, for the last 10 years, we've been electing the person, the leader that we want, not the political party. So it can change, and it's for the best interest of our people. Once you elect the person you want, you can hold them accountable, they will work for you, but when you elect them because of the political parties, their first priority will be to serve their masters in those political parties.
Yeah. Yusuf, when you speak to these young people in Kibra, what do they tell you? What are they looking for?
I can tell you every political party has ideologies, just the same as every candidate has manifesto. And I had this discussion recently with some friends. I said manifesto is becoming boring. Anyone can present the best of manifestos.
Yeah.
I will do this, I will do this, I want to change this. And political party has ideologies, and there are some stand with that, some don't. And we've been trying to engage boys, especially kwa mabase. Yeah, unajua mtaani mali kama Kibra, base ndio nyingi. So it's all about the leadership, the leader. As Billion has said, this election is going to be very, very, very different.
Yeah.
Just I can give you an example with Kibra, which is perceived to be an ODM zone. Out of the 5 wards, 2, 1 went to Jubilee, 1 went to Independent. So it's remaining 3. So the perception is changing slowly. And with this election, it will be rubber stamped. Things are going to change the entire country. Smaller parties, independent candidates are going to shock the nation. Because I can see now even hata ukiingia mtaani, the talk is hatutaki siasa ya chama. It's like people are tired because someone can just come and tell you vote 6 picks, vote 6 picks, because that's been the tradition before. But after the 6 picks, what happened? You are being controlled with the party. Let's take this direction, do this, don't talk, don't. Most parties, it's been more of like a dictatorship. Yeah. So the perception has changed. And I can assure you, not only Kibra, the entire country, just like what Billion has mentioned, Ugenya, we know where Ugenya is located in this country. And we had an independent candidate, Kisumu East. We had an independent candidate, Kisumu West. We had a Ford Kenya candidate. I'm sure the people there did not vote for Ford Kenya. They voted for the leader. So, and I'm sure in 2022, that's going to play big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that your feeling as well, Jerry? Is there a young revolution of some sorts in this era, or is it the same all, just different times?
No, there is a revolution of young people who are coming up, and who are coming up strongly, and new candidates who had not been known before, who were not, the big wigs in the political field, because people are tired, Trevor. People are tired, and people want change. And oftentimes they've seen that it's the same faces coming to tell them, oh, I held a previous position, now elect me, or rather elevate me to this one. So people want the change, and they need it. And we are going to see that change on 9th of August this year, because I believe that the electorate is going to rebel towards non-performers. And we're going to see new entrants, like hopefully myself and Kina Cindy Amugi and my colleagues here, because at the end of the day, people want change. And we have seen post-COVID, there's been so many issues. People have had so many struggles. They just want change. They don't want the same faces, and they are fed up.
But my concern is that non-performance. What are they basing it on? They tend to base it on how much handouts you gave, how many times you're in the village, not so much which policies you pushed for when you're in the legislative position. So how then do you change that and ensure that the marking scheme changes from how much can you actually give to what have you delivered?
There's actually that conversation. I don't think the electorate is that disconnected from what the representatives that they voted for are doing. Because I've heard people say that, oh, this particular person never spoke in Parliament, never pushed for laws that will cater for our needs. So there is that. They're not really fully disconnected, only that we need to ramp it up. We need to ensure that there's exhausted civic education so that they actually know why they're voting in for change. Because at the end of the day, if you're voting in for change informed by the wrong reasons, then that change, you will actually find out at the end of the day that it is the same thing that you thought you're voting out. So you're replacing a candidate with another one who is also a non-performer. So we need the electorate to have the right reasons why they need the change, so that if they put me in as a Kirinyaga woman representative, what do they expect from me? What can I do different from the current women representative? If that is the change they need. I'm not necessarily saying that they're rebelling towards that because the current women representative is going for higher positions. So for my case, it's totally different. The race is very open. The current women representative, Ongoing Girishi, is gunning for the gubernatorial seat. So it is a different angle from even me going to the ground to vie. It's because they already know that she's gunning for a different seat. So I don't have to go and there's not that conversation about what she didn't do and what she hasn't done. And basically, I think she has done quite a bit, and I am going to just, further that.
Okay. And Billion, you brought in a very interesting aspect. Is ethnicity still an issue? Especially for you in a place where the shifting of camps. Have people come to you and told you betrayed the cause? We were supposed to do a 6-piece, now you've moved to this on the side, and for that reason, I'm not going to vote for you. Is that still a concern?
Of course, I experienced that at the beginning. When I moved, I couldn't sit everybody down and explain to them why I moved. But now, looking at my track record, the things that I've done in the community, I think people moved. There was just a bit of bitterness, which I totally understand. But right now, with the shambolic nominations that happened in the community, a lot of even leaders who are so deep into the political parties moved to independent. So, there's no justification. But I am trying to change that narrative because I want my son in the next 20 years to be able to comfortably vote for anybody, looking at their policies, not looking at their ethnical affiliations. So that is changing. I have, if you look at my team, I have inherited the UDA the UDA voting bloc, but I've also had a chance to, convince people from my community, and they're looking at me as a leader and the things that I stand for. So it was quite hard at the beginning, but right now we are all on the same page, and they're looking at my track record, which is more important than my ethnicity and my political.
And as young people, how are you going to shift this conversation? Because some people still believe in politics of enmity. But I've seen some of your likes, the politicians up there. You people are friends, but you don't tell that to the people on the ground. So when you're campaigning in different places, people might have that perception that it is a do or die. But you people are friends up there. So how then do you cascade that message of peace to the people to ensure that they understand that this is just a difference of ideology, but it is not enmity?
I think there are people who understand the game of divide and rule. For me, I think everybody is important. I don't want to have a divided Mathare. I think the most important thing for me to be able to achieve the goals, the plans that I have for the people of Mathare is to have Mathare united. So I've been trying to reach out to every corner. I'm a bit lucky that I've never experienced that. I get welcomed in every corner of Mathare, because even before politics, we used to play football together, we used to interact together. So there's nobody who you can set up to rebel against me. But we should change from that, because this is a competition. Let's our competition be based on what have you done or what can you do for the people. Yeah, so hopefully this will change. There are areas that are looked at as hotspots.
Yeah.
If you look at Mathare, if you look at Kibra, they are hotspots. But we want to change the narrative because all of us want to cross to the other side. I want to lead a Mathare that, there's no young person was lost during the election because of the conflict of interest that we had between the two political parties or two, the front runners.
Yeah. Jerry, I'll come to you in just a bit, but let me hear your views on this, Yusuf. How do you foster that ideology of peace for the people to realize this is just a competition of ideas, but not enmity?
See, a place like, as Billion said, a place like Kibra and Mathare is more or less of the same.
Yeah.
It's the first of Kenya. I think every tribe in Kenya, you'll find them in Mathare and you'll find them in Kibra. And what we've been doing for the past 2 years, that is the engagement we had with the youth. And funny enough, the ethnicity affiliation is what politicians create during the election time. Like me, I was born in Kibra. I went to school with Onyango. I played with Wafula. My friends are in Nzomo. So during election time, that is when a politician is coming with the tactic of divide and rule, reminding you, hey, you are Onyango, simama na watu wako. You are Wafula indo barabara tunatumia. So basically, I can tell you with the urban youth, there's nothing like ethnicity. Actually, it's a perception the politician create, this tribe, we have these numbers, this tribe. So they try to create some euphoria and confusion so that they get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry, you had something to say about this?
Yes.
Ethnicity.
In my case, there's nothing about ethnicity because most of the time you find that the county residents normally from one community. What I've faced is the perspective of age, and there's some non-issues which have been brought out by my competitors who are in other parties. Like, are you married? Do you have a husband? Do you have a child? Do you have a house in the village? And they're trying to make it seem as if this is actually core to me being elected and representing the people of Kirinyaga in parliament. And it's unbelievable. I came from the professional world to that kind of thinking, and you just get the shock first because you're like, how does that even correlate with me representing Kirinyaga people in parliament, with me being able to perform my legislative oversight and representation role? It doesn't add up at all. But I can tell you, Trevor, that is something that the elder candidates, because in my position, we are all vying as women. So they're actually pushing that narrative.
Yeah.
And I can't understand it at all because it does not make sense to any person who is rational.
So what is the argument? Because I find this very trivial, just like you said it, but it is something that does happen in this society. You're running for women representatives, so all of you are women already. If it wasn't that it's a gender card, then it becomes what your family looks like.
Yes.
So what is the argument behind that?
I think the argument behind it, as I've seen some sources quote, is that I would be unable to perform in my role as a member of parliament, representing the entire county, if, say, I don't have a house in the village, because someone actually quoted and said that people need to come see you there. And I'm like, a woman representative has an office, right? You do not come to my house to, to agitate, or rather to push for issues that are aligned to my representation.
Yeah.
You come to the office, and I am pursuing, if I am elected as a Kirinyaga women representative, I will have an office in every constituency.
Yeah.
And offices in the village are not expensive. So that is the reasoning behind it, which is, I see you laughing, so you can...
People want to move in with you.
They need to come live in my house, If I don't have a husband, am I unable to perform my role? If I don't have a child, am I unable to,
That's one of the most crazy things I've ever had. But that doesn't happen to the male team, right?
I'm laughing because we were discussing the same with my wife the other day.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me if my wife have joined me on the campaign trail. Say we come from different backgrounds and all that. But in the village, if you look at Nairobi, I was asking my wife if they know the wives to the spouses to the members of parliament or even the senator of the city.
Yeah.
And the answer is no. But if you go to the village, because the village setup, people come to your house.
Yeah.
In Nairobi here, barely people know where their leaders live. Yeah, but in the village, they want to know, where you stay. And when they come, there's one of the candidates in the village that, they slaughter cow almost every day. So they have a base in the morning. After doing a few things, they come, have lunch. They stick around and say, ground iko sawa. They leave, they come the next day. So maybe there is
a party every day.
Yes, it's a bit expensive and so involving. So they want to know where they can find you. They are not looking at the office. Nairobi here, people will come to your office, so they give you a call. But in the village, maybe looking at the, also the economic status,
yeah.
They believe I just take Nduthi to your home or just walk to your home and find you there. And they believe they should be able to get you at a certain location.
Yeah.
That is the difference between here. But when I was vying for the first time, that was an issue that I had to hire my communication officer to act as my wife, especially when you're going for the church services.
So you had an acting wife. This was a big concern.
It was because it was a big deal when you're going to church. They say, we want to pray for you,
yeah,
and we want to pray for you and your family. Yeah, but now after knowing that I am married,
yeah,
they don't even care if I come to church with my wife.
Yeah.
It's just a concern before they know that you're officially married.
Let me just respond to that because
Yeah.
it affects, I feel that it is very trivial.
Yeah.
And of course that is the narrative at the village. And those are the things that we're saying we need to demystify. We need to change some narratives because I come from Kirinyaga County. So even in the event, I'm not saying I do not have a home there. Even in the event that I do not have a home, my parents have a home there. So it is always easy for people who want to visit to come to my parents' home. So it does not make sense because we want to cut out young people from vying. If Toto is 24 years old, right? So imagine, are you asking that she builds a home so that she can run for a seat? Some of these things. And when it's people who are actually intellectuals, or rather who've gone to school, who are reasoning like that,
yeah,
you wonder where,
yeah,
how the, the person down there is going to think.
Yeah, but Yusuf, is it just a strategy to then age out young people? Because all these things take a bit of time, whether it's getting married, whether it's getting children,
building a house,
buying a house, whether it's building a home. So is that just a strategy from the
I can just say
age out the younger ones?
It's a Stone Age politics, eh?
Yeah.
The same as the politics of circumcision, the same of huyu ajaoa kama ajaoa ama hana bibi. If you can't manage a wife, how can you manage a constituency? Yeah. It's just a Stone Age kind of politics. Yeah. So, and I think we need to do away with that. And the only way is civic education. And as leaders, once you're elected, don't be reluctant waiting for after 4 years sasa unarudi kwa ground.
Yeah.
You need to engage the electorate a lot.
Yeah.
You need to engage them a lot. A lot of civic education need to be ongoing, I think, for all this to change.
But how do you guys deal with the issue of constituents? Because you find some people from Billion side coming to your side and you're wondering, okay, so if I offer assistance to this person is a voter in Mathare, not necessarily Kibra, and how do you even tell the difference? Does when they want to see, do you ask for the voters' card, which is now not even an issue? Right?
I think if you're a leader and you have a heart to help, it does not matter. Like there was a time I saw Robert Alai posted a video. There's a young lady who was talking to Jalango. Jalango, please sponsor me. I want to join a DJing school. Yeah. That was after, there's this young man, mwenye alirudishia Jalango M-Pesa, I forgot his name, that one. So it was after that. So the lady's like, please, even if you can give me that money, I can join a DJing school. So I commented there. I told Robert Alai, kindly get me the contacts. And he inboxed me the contacts. And I called the young lady, she comes from Kayole. I've never met her till today, but I got her DJing school, I paid for it, she started, till now we've not met. So it's not always, it should not be interest always. If you're a leader, you're a leader. Yeah. And you can support anyone. Yeah. It does not matter, it has to be Kibra, no. Okay. Yes.
You're dealing with the county, so it's an entire place. But do the people still come to you and ask for this and that? And do you explain to them that, okay, I'm just a young person trying to bring in new ideas. I may not necessarily have the resources that you require. And do they take that as you not being generous and just being a stingy person?
I think it depends with the communication, or rather how you relay the message. I've had people bring issues of school fees to me. When I'm able to chip in, I always chip in. Even if I'm not able to pay the entire school fees, I'm able to at least donate something towards that, because education is very important to me. But sometimes you find that your finances are low and you're not in a capacity to do that. So I just explain to them step by step, and I tell them, I would really want to do this, but I am not in a position to. Some people understand, some don't. So I think it also depends with how you relay that message to the people, how you explain to them whether they believe that you're genuine or you're lying. And sometimes people have the perception, because I'm called Wakili. They don't understand that I have only practiced for 2 years.
They know lawyers have money.
Yes, so they know lawyers have money. They think I have, money and lots of it. So some people think that perhaps I'm stingy, but quite a number of them understand, and even the team that I'm working with, they've done such a good job, because they have been purely on volunteer basis. I don't pay any of them. They just work for me and, do the groundwork, spread the message. And I even had some agents who volunteered during the nominations. So I think it's about communication and how you relay the message, and who believes and who doesn't. Because at the end of the day, even if I tell you, Trevor, I don't have money, and you're a person who knows our Wakili has loads of money, you won't believe me.
Understand it.
Yes.
But has the issue of age ever played a role? Do some people come to you, the older generation, and tell you, first of all, you're too young, bench these ambitions for now, kuwa mkubwa kidogo?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Kirinyaga is a very, different demographic, and they're very, very open to youthful leadership. Yeah. We even have very young MCAs. And we had a first-time MCA, Matenge from Baragwe Ward. He was elected when he was pretty young. Yeah. So it is a society that's very receptive towards young leadership. Mostly they view me as their daughter, and they see that I am educated, and that I am capable of leading them. And they actually very, very supportive. There's some who actually say, no, I don't need your money. I wouldn't take your money. I just need to listen to your vision, and I am going to support you. Okay.
And Billy, and this is a question I'd like all of you to respond to. Are the parties helping you guys with campaigns? Anyway, are they chipping in any way, or it's every man and a woman for himself or herself?
No, I think our party is so organized. I can say, before joining politics, I knew what it entails. I knew my responsibilities, and I don't want to make the party feel like, we came as a burden. So I'm trying to do what I can to also popularize the party in Mathare. But our party is organized. The other day we had a meeting with all the MCA's aspirants, the people who won and the people who lost. So it shows how they're trying to consolidate even the numbers, which is more important even than giving the resources, because we need people to come out and feel like this is where we belong, and support you in the ground. So we are not expecting any money from or resources from our party. If it comes, it will boost what we have already. But there's a lot of goodwill. You feel you are comfortable within the party, and they always look after us. We have had a conversation with our governor candidate, Johnson Sakaja, who has also been so helpful in trying to help us to cater for some of these things that we need on the ground. So there's a clear communication, which is more important than even the resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yusuf, what is
it's the same. It's a win-win situation. You see, you cannot wait for a party entirely to bankroll your campaign. You have to find your ways. You have to find your ways out, and the party also chip in. Like my party, they've been supportive from day one. Yeah, I can say it's working out for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Jerry, apart from the coordinated campaigns, have you received any sort of assistance from the party?
I think it's a give and take, Trevor. So the party gives and takes. So it is like a symbiotic relationship. And one can't do without the other, because at the end of the day, the party needs to win that seat in Kirinyaga County, and I need to win that seat in Kirinyaga County so that the lives of the Kirinyaga people can be better, and I can be able to represent them. But at the end of the day, you can't wait on the party to give too much, because we are the party, Trevor. I am the party. I am a member of UDA party, so I also give my resources to UDA party. What I can say the party gives is a teamwork, and like you've said, those rallies that we do, we benefit from that and from the general goodwill of the party. We had a meeting yesterday as UDA aspirants in Kirinyaga County, where we all agreed to work as a team, and I need to mention that we unanimously endorsed our governor, Anne Waiguru, to be the deputy for our presidential candidate, William Samoei Ruto. So at the end of the day, it is a give and take. So it's a balance. You can't really entirely wait for the party to do the load of the work for you. You also have to give your input.
All right. And joining us now is Felix Oduor, a.k.a. Jalango, a.k.a. J. Baba Langata, Member of Parliament aspirant under the ODM ticket. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Asante.
Before you came in, we were talking about the experience of the young people on the ground. You have moved from a professional outfit as a journalist, and now they say once a journalist, always a journalist, but now you've gone into politics. It's an entirely different field. What has your experience been like?
Wow. First, thank you so much, and to the viewers out there, good morning. And apologies for the late, and it is because of you.
What do you mean?
You said this interview was supposed to be next week on Friday. You didn't send a post, you didn't send anything. But anyway, we are here. But I can easily tell you, if you have a friend, a son, a brother, a young person vying, pray for them every day. Pray for them every day.
Why?
This experience is not a walk in the park. It is crazy for the young people. The new entrants are feeling the heat from the old guards, and like they say, siasa sio kanisa, you understand? And you don't have anyone there to help you do anything. You find yourself in the deep end, and all you have to do is swim and get yourself out of it. So it's not been easy, but it's very exciting, and the adrenaline around it makes it even more the best place I want to be now and for the rest of my life.
But are the people in the ground more concerned about the ideologies and what you can deliver as opposed to the resources you give them? You
see, one thing I can easily tell you, this is going to be the most expensive elections for any politician, because we are coming from the pandemic, and you can go to the ground sometimes and you want to go articulate issues out there, talk to them, but then the situation you get on ground there forces you to even go beyond what you wanted to tell the ideologies, to now lend hand in giving food, giving help out there and things like that. Because my constituency borders Kibra, where heavyweight here comes from. It's a place called Soweto. From Soweto, as you come up, that's the old slums and everything. Charles Luanga, those are Raila village. Those are people who really need much more help than what you tell them. Sometimes it's not what you tell them at that time. It is what can you do for us to get us out of this situation. You get nyumba imechomeka, nyumba ya mtu imechomeka. Utamwambia utafanya nini at that time? They need a house there. They need a shelter. They need shelter at that time. They need food at that time. So there are places where people listen to you and want to listen to what you can do for them.
Yeah.
And there are places and parts of the constituency where your help is needed immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about wading through party politics. Because quite a number of the people on your side went through nominations.
No, as I was coming, I was listening to these guys.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I can tell you that 90% of people who are going into independent also wanted these party tickets. That is one thing I can easily tell you.
Yeah.
Very few of them declared independency from the word go, meaning they know how powerful a party ticket is in some regions and some places. You get what I mean? So, independent, yes, but did you declare your independency from the word go? Or did you lose nominations and decided that, you know what, let me go for independent? So party politics is still plays a big role.
Yeah.
The tickets, party tickets are still huge in places, in regions and things like that.
Yeah. When you're coming in, we were talking about budgets and they all give their estimated budgets. What is yours like, considering you're coming from...
It keeps on changing every single day. Yeah. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. So there's no specific budgets around this thing.
Yeah.
Okay? You'd say you want to spend 1 million shillings. Okay? You get somewhere, and the things that you wanted to do, half of them have already been done. It goes down to 500. Sometimes you go with 1 million and it goes to 10 million. So each and every single day, it's been fluctuating, going up, going down all the time. But then politics is an expensive affair. Yeah. Even just traveling and moving around the constituencies. I can imagine what Nani is going through in the county, where now you have 10, 20 constituencies. It is crazy out here, but the budgets are also expensive. And also the old guards with their money are giving the young people trouble in this town.
So what is the estimated budget based on that? Now that you say the old guards are also giving in money, you must have a basic line that this is what I need if I'm to get to this Langata seat.
Do we really need to talk about that? Because each and every day it changes. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So estimate. And it's not about even handouts or anything like that. Okay. Branding out there.
Exactly.
Merchandise.
That's why I'm asking you an estimate, like because there's the branding, logistics, the team you have, the offices you have,
30
communication.
To 40 million.
30 to 40 million.
Yes. Okay. Easily would cost that.
Okay.
For a well-oiled campaign.
Okay.
So that you are able to move into every single place and articulate your issues.
And Bobo Wino is saying, I saw Jalango crying for the ODM party nomination certificate. Did he get it finally? And can you tell us what
that was propaganda. That was propaganda. People started talking about how I was denied the ticket even before nominations were done. And if you saw my tweet, I told guys, how special is this Langata seat that no nominations have been done and everybody is talking about my ticket being stolen from me. Then the nomination came on that Friday. With a landslide win, we got it. And as we speak, I am the ODM Azimio flag bearer for the Langata ticket. Yes.
But how do you intend to change the conversation for the youth to focus on ideology rather than party politics and personality politics?
Listen, we can't deny how deep-rooted party politics is and the structures of the different political parties. All right? So let's say in Langata, where, say, ODM is a party there, all right? You walk in there, there are structures, there's offices, there's are people who've been talking to groups, there's are people who have been talking to CBOs, there's are people. The party is well structured out there, and it makes it easy for you to even reach the people out there through the parties and its structures. You don't go into a party because maybe how popular it is or anything. The structures that makes it easy for you to maneuver within the constituency makes it better to have a party ticket than go as an independent. You could have the party, but if you don't have ideologies, people reject you. You get? People will reject you. But then if you have the party and still have the ideologies of the people, you're 1 foot in. to whichever seat that you want.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me bring in some of the feedback, then get your reviews on what people are saying here. Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya, use the hashtag DayBreak. Let's read some of them and hear the views from the rest of the panelists as well. Let's bring that up on screen. And then we'll also finally talk about the war of words that has ensued between the president and his deputy, and how young people can veer off that kind of politics and get into other politics of ideology. Chalo Wodrozi says, ask the youthful panelists, how are they managing to campaign against old and rich opponents within their territories? It's very much obvious that voters are always looking for handouts from aspirants. Yeah, let's get a quick response to that before we go, starting with you, Jalang.
Wow. You know, from the word go, when we came in, we knew we were coming into a very expensive affair.
Yeah.
Okay. And in one way or another, we prepared ourselves. I had my fundraiser, which I invited you and you didn't come.
This is not about me, Jalango.
You didn't come.
We are not
supporting the youth.
We are not allowed to associate with politicians directly.
No, you are my friend beyond this work you do here. So stop this. I'll come for you. Now listen, I had my fundraiser back in December the 3rd.
Yes.
That is last year. And I have a few friends who came in and put some good money for me to start my campaigns, and from time to time I've had very good support from my constituents, some of them who just want to support and all. Then I've also used every single opportunity that I've had to raise funds as we go on. But apart from that, I had a kitty that I wanted to use for this campaign.
Okay.
So it's not a problem.
All right.
I can't lie to you.
Feeling very
Mine, as I told you earlier, I've had a secretariat for the past 1 year.
Yeah.
I've had a secretariat who's been helping me to raise money through fundraiser. We've had dinner. We've different platforms we've been using.
Yeah.
And we keep on doing that.
Okay.
As Jalango has said, it's not an easy venture.
Okay.
And for me, I'm trying to change the narrative and the way of doing campaigns. Mine is more of an empowerment kind of a campaign. The old guards are still stuck to going around giving 50 shillings.
Yeah.
So when you get a youth group and you've empowered them, wapatie machine, they can use it for their daily hustle.
Yeah.
And kuna mtu akuja hapo apatie 200 shillings, definitely they know who to vote for.
All right.
So that has made things easier for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Funds have come from close family and friends, but it has been hard, Trevor.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, for a young person, even my networks, my friends just left campus around 4-5 years ago. So of course they haven't made loads of money like Jalango's friends. So I think he should donate to my campaign. He should donate to my campaign.
Jalango should donate to you.
Yes, he should donate to me.
Oh my God.
So what I've done is packaging and strategy, because I know the old guard cannot beat me at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Billion.
I think for me, one has been the goodwill, because I've been working in Mathare for the longest time. And then the two, we've been working on the creative ways of making it cheap. And then I think I bumped into you in Atlanta when I went to meet the Matharians in diaspora. So it's been a way of just consolidating our resources and trying to work it for our community. I've had, last night, one of my friends sent me 10,000 for posters. I've had a couple of friends doing billboards for me. So it's just been the support. It is not easy for young people, but I think there are also people out there that, you know, are inspired by, you know, the courage that we have.
Yeah.
And the way Jalango said, pray for us, but also, importantly, donate, even if it's 1,000 shillings.
But it's also important to mention that when we were in Atlanta, somebody wanted to give you $1,000 and you were asleep. That's a different story all the same. Let's bring up another feedback and see what you're saying. Mecheka Enoch says, young people have the capability of changing our country to be better. However, the older generation doesn't like it to be so. Okay. Let's see what else you're saying there. Malela. Good morning, Trevor. The young panelists must know party is key. That's why aspirants fight tooth and nail to secure the tickets. Electoral mobilization is around ethnicity and party politics. Jalang, I'd like to hear your issue on this ethnicity part, because before you came in, that's what we were talking about. Has it played a role?
No, not really. See, Langata is a cosmopolitan constituency where definitely we have every single tribe that is the face of Kenya. I would easily tell you that. So it has not been an issue because my friends are Kikuyus, my voters are Luyas, my mothers are Luos. It's a mix of it all. Okay. So it has not been an issue. Ethnicity has not been an issue. And like when you go back to the villages where a lot of things come to play, the tribe becomes one, ethnicity becomes one, your gender becomes another thing. Yeah. How established you are, it becomes another thing. You know, when I built my house in the village, they all came and said, now you are ready. You are ready to be MP. You tell us when. Tell us when. You see, so a lot of those do not play back here, where they don't even know where you live. They don't know who your wife is, your spouse, things like that. And they've never seen you as a Luo or anything. So to me, it's a good thing. It's a good team. Like the chair lady of Langata is called Shiro. Yeah. Shiro is the chair lady of Langata. She's been mobilizing. Chairman Karen is Willie Munai, a lawyer. He is mobilizing for me. So it's not an issue in Langata. Okay. And I would never ever want tribalism to be an issue in Langata. Langata people have already rose above tribes and those petty politics. All right, let's bring up what you're saying on feedback here. Engineer Lazaro says youth shouldn't shy away from venturing into politics. Even the so-called old dynamics folks started somewhere. Okay. Let's bring up the next one and see what he's saying. Odongo Rolex says, Trevor, party politics have messed up with our country a lot. Some parts of the country are behind due to party politics. But come August, things are going to change. Even here in Mukuru kwa Njenga, electorates are getting wiser. All right? We'll see what happens. Shem says, for political systems to be representative, all parts of society must be included. When the youth are disengaged from political processes, a significant portion of the population has little or no voice or influence in decisions that affect their lives. Okay? Let's see what else you're saying here. Mtetezi Masese says, being young and a woman subjects one to multiple forms of discrimination in the political arena. The narrative is also changing. Nandi County is a good example. Let young people be on the ground and remain consistent in their political mobilization. All right, as we wind up on this conversation, Jalango, we were talking about ideology then. So what do we do now to ensure that the young people change? In fact, we've seen lately a war of words from the head of state and the deputy president. In fact, we can play part of that so that I just hear your views in terms of what you people think should change going forward, not necessarily talking about their personality, but the kind of brand of politics that goes out to the people out in the society there. When you see the top echelons of the government, the executive themselves, going head to head against each other, what kind of message does that pass? And how then do we ensure that the younger generation do not go through that sort of example and take it to be the main issue? Let's listen to what he had to say.
Tutasuluhisha namna gani jameni? Tutasaidiana namna gani? Wengine wanaenda huko kuinsight wananchi. Angalia hii bei imepanda, uliza Uhuru. Yaani mimi Uhuru niko Ukraine, mimi ninafanya nini huko? Jameni. Mimi COVID nilikuwa huko kulea kutoa mimi. Uko wapi? Badala ya kunisaidia kuondoa hiyo shida, wewe uko kwa soko kusema ulizeni ule. Basi si ungewacha uniwachie mimi nitafute mtu ambaye angenisaidia jameni. Wewe unajua hii shida sio ya mtu. Hii ni shida ya uko wapi wakati mimi nakuhitaji? Na ndio mimi nashukuru huyo mzee. Huyo mzee at least hata kama alikuwa na mambo yake alikuja kunisaidia.
Sasa wanajaribu kunilaumu mimi. Mimi wakati nilikuwa nasaidia rais, hakuna kitu ilikwama. Tulijenga reli, barabara tukazijenga, sitima tukaunganisha, TTI tukajenga. Ile mahali mambo yote imekwama ni second term, mahali Big Four ilikwama kwa sababu wale walipatiwa hiyo majukumu walishindwa. Hawakuelewa, wakapeleka mambo ya rege, wakatuletea mambo ya BBI. Wakazunguka na hiyo mambo yote sasa imekuwa kazi bure.
Nyalango, let me start with you then. First, what are your views on this public's part, and how do we ensure young people have a different brand of politics?
You see, the first thing we must agree that we are in an election period, and we will see a lot of this. A lot of this will still come. So, because everybody is trying to put their best foot forward.
Yeah.
Blame this person, blame this other person, blame this other person, so that the electorate would see and choose you as the best candidate. So at this point, we know very well that our chairman of Azimio, the president himself, is damning support for our presidential candidate, the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And a lot of this will still come. But for young people, they must know that the register that the IEBC is going to get out next week, I hope they have started verifying themselves if they are registered voters.
Yes.
Is said to be 70% of young people, okay? Because the old guards, either mortality has not favored them, and more people have registered as voters. Somebody who cannot talk about things like post-election violence, who was 3 years then, is 18 and will be voting this year, right? So it is time for the young people to rise up and choose the right leaders. The right leaders who will guide them beyond their tribes, will think and empower them, so that the next 5 years, the young people will not be here again complaining how they've been left out. Yet they have a chance. And this is the one election that has given the young people the biggest chance to choose the right leaders that they want. So go out there, verify if you're a voter, choose the right leaders, make sure that their next 5 years will be leaders who care about you and not about themselves. Yes.
Okay. Yusuf.
Yeah, as Jalango has said, it's a campaign period.
Yeah.
Na Waswahili wanasema kila mtu anavutia kamba kwake. So what His Excellency, the President and the Deputy President are doing, it's merely campaign. Of course, our chairman of Azimio, His Excellency, is supporting the 5th, Raila Amolo Odinga. And right now, he's supposed to do what possible to pull the numbers to his side. And the Deputy President is trying to do the same. So I really don't think they would have done that 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But they are doing it now. So it's a simple mathematics. 1 + 1 is 2. But for the young people, I think we just need to learn from all this. And as Njeri said earlier, this election will be the defining moment for Kenyans. This is the time the Kenyan politics will change once and for good. So as young people, for what we've seen, what's been happening, we really need to change the way we articulate issues, the way we solve issues, and the way, like, I think Billion addressed something about when you asked him about, he is from UDA, I'm from Azimio, but we can hang out together, we can laugh about things, and our ideologies are not the same.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot that we are changing as young people, and we still need to push to that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry, what do you make of that public outburst, and how do we ensure that the younger generation learn a different kind of politics, which is yourselves, because you're the ones who are getting into that arena?
Trevor, I don't see anything wrong with that, because we're in the politicking season, so we're going to see a lot of that. And it's unfortunate that President refused to stay away from succession politics. And we obviously know that this was coming, Trevor, because he has a preferred candidate and his deputy is gunning for the seat. And they had an agreement, or rather a working arrangement. So this is something that is normal. It is not out of context, given the circumstances and the material times you're in. What I believe young people should do is ask the hard questions. Before you go out to vote, do not just vote for a person because you've been told, or rather you've been coerced or influenced by a certain person to vote for them. Ask the hard questions. Make that independent decision as a person, not based on what someone has said or someone saying, like the president is saying we take a particular direction in Mount Kenya, and in particular regarding supporting the Azimio candidate. But the people of Mount Kenya have decided independently that they will back Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. So let people think and make those decisions for themselves. And I wish the government could have stayed out of this, because even influence in the electorate and in the government machinery and all that, there's so many aspects. So it would have been proper for the president to stay out of it. But well, let's get into it.
Okay, Billion.
For me, I look at it differently. Looking at the sentiments of the president, I think as leaders, we are supposed to be take responsibility. This is not the first time that we are seeing the president coming out and blaming people. There's a time he blamed an institution, said, "Sasa nyinyi mnataka nifanye nini?" If a president, with all the powers, can blame the institutions. So this is an interesting time for us young people. I am happy all of us here have, we have initiatives. We've been able to run organizations, run different initiatives. And why we've been doing this, it's been building us to be able to take responsibilities from our from the people around us. And I think when we are voting this time around as young people, let's look at people that we can hold accountable. People who can say, yes, I am sorry. This came, I was not ready for this. Nobody was ready for the pandemic. Nobody was ready for, this part about Turkey. But, the way you portray the message, the way you pass the message is important. Yeah, so as he might have been having a point, but the way the message is coming out, it looks like a blame game. Yeah. And this country, we understand and we follow the stories of what is happening in different countries. Yeah. So let's elect people who can take responsibilities.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yusuf, let me take your closing remarks on this. Jessica Henya says the problem with the youth leaders is that when they get into power, they concentrate on accumulating their wealth and forget those who elected them. Respond to that as you give your closing remarks as well.
To be honest, that's been the culture. I mentioned it earlier. Yeah. And that is what created the electorate to be monsters. Because once you're elected, you disappear. Alafu unaapia kama Jesus resurrection towards the election period or the campaign periods again. Yeah. So that created pia the electorate wanakungoja wakukamue tena vizuri sana. Yeah, but I believe with this young breed of leaders, things are going to change. Okay. For me nitaongelesha wana Kibra, they know me for what I've been doing. Yeah. And naomba kura zenyu and kindly confirm if you are a voter, or just send your ID number to 7000. Send your ID number to 7000 and confirm you are a registered voter. Uko sawa, tarehe 9 njoni munipitishe. That's what Kibra needs.
Okay. Jerry, your closing remarks as well.
This is an electioneering period, and most of the time young people are used by politicians to insult people left, right and center. So I want to ask and speak to the young people of Kirinyaga and the young people of this nation. Do not agree to be used by anyone. Stand your ground and vote in for leaders who are actually going to bring in change. To the people of Kirinyaga County, I am humbly asking for your votes as your daughter, and I am certain that I will ensure that the legislative, the oversight and representative roles are well catered for when you vote me and take me to Parliament.
All right, Billion?
For me, I think it's time for us to move from Bora Kiongozi to Kiongozi Bora. We have an opportunity as the people of Mathare to elect, vote in somebody that we think understands our pain, somebody who's been there for us. But generally, I think I want people to vote in the people that they can hold accountable, the people that you can call, the people that you can reach to, the people that relates to your story. Because we have the next 5 years to do good or the next 5 years to cry and say, you know, ningejua, ningepigia huyu, ama party iliniuza. So we have an opportunity to elect leaders that we want to see. We are ready, we've offered ourselves.
Yeah.
It is not easy, and yeah, so just scrutinize some of our, you know, our track records and give us an opportunity to bless you with our experiences.
Okay. Jalas.
I would easily ask everybody out there not to judge us from our predecessors.
Yeah.
The people who went before us. All we are asking is to be given a chance to prove that good leadership can always be there. My campaign slogan is called Utu na Watu, humanity and people. We want leaders who will work for the people, we want servant leaders. And that's what some of us have been for a very, very long time. If you knew where some of us come from, you would not even pray for us to fail. You would hold our hands and move with us through these big dreams.
Yeah.
I can easily tell you, the young people who are running have got more backlash from fellow young people than the old. You understand?
Really?
But
Yeah.
this is...
The young are attacking themselves more.
Yes, the young are attacking themselves. You could see if you went through, say, Bahati's page, it is the young people who are out there attacking him. And these are the same young people who've always been asking for young people to come in and run for the offices.
Yeah.
And this is the chance. We've come out there and put ourselves out there for these positions. Please support us. Now, in closing, to the people of Langata, I want to say good morning to you. The people in Karen, South Sea, Mugumoini, Nairobi West, and the amazing people of High Rise. We've just come from the nominations. And I want to first thank you so much for coming out and voting in overwhelmingly for me to hold that coveted ticket as the Azimio ODM candidate in Langata.
Yeah.
The work is yet to begin because the bigger monster is ahead. Just like we walked together during the nomination, with the same spirit, let's walk together all the way to the 9th of August, when you will also humbly and kindly vote for me as a member of parliament of Langata.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for making time, all of you. Felix Odiwuor Jalango, Langata member of parliament aspirant under ODM ticket. Billion Ojiwa Madare MP aspirant under UDA. Yusuf Noah Kibra MP aspirant under DAPK. And Jerry Maina, woman representative aspirant for Kirinyaga under UDA. Thank you so much for your feedback as well. Remember, it's only 95 days to the polling stations, days to open, and it's all on you now. There's an old adage.